Alright, I want to see how much our friends have changed since we last saw them. And it's stand. It is... This looks like the work of an enemy stand. Is that the Warhammer? Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey folks, I'm Jacob, this is Weebservations, and I cannot wait to get into whatever the hell Attack on Titan has been boiling up for us these past couple episodes as we get into episode 65, The Warhammer Titan. Now this is actually my third reaction video to Attack on Titan, the final season, so if you want to hear my thoughts on the show leading up to this point, or really Attack on Titan as a whole, you can pop on over to these two videos over here. But before we get into the reaction proper to the Warhammer Titan, I did want to clarify a couple of my thoughts on the end of one of the series' biggest episodes, I think of all time, Declaration of War. Because one of the flaws, I guess, with this format, although I do enjoy doing it, is from an analytical perspective, you are getting my hottest take right out of the oven. It hasn't set yet. If you touch it, it'll probably crumble, you'll burn your hands. This metaphor is falling apart as much as my analysis does sometimes on the second I've watched something. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about what happened at the end of episode 64, Declaration of War, and my thoughts on it now that they've had time to percolate a bit, and I'm kind of baked in what I saw and what I thought of Eren's character for longer than the 2 seconds between him not having committed war crimes and suddenly committing all of the war crimes at the very end of that episode. So when I first saw this scene, and you can see it in the reaction, I was wondering if he was being conciliatory towards Reiner, or perhaps even trying to protect him in some way, because Reiner was accompanied by Falco, right? This little kid that Eren is kind of made friends with. Not really, he's using him to send intel out of Marley to his companions, who we'll all, I assume, see in this episode as they attack the fortified zone right before the Willy Tiber could launch a war to attack them. Is it a preemptive strike if nothing has been done yet, but they just like said literally 2 seconds ago, without even a vote or anything, if there's going to be a war, one guy says, who has a lot of power admittedly, let's start a war, and then the enemy attacks? Is that considered justified? I don't think so, and I get the feeling maybe Eren's friends probably aren't going to unilaterally think so, but he certainly thinks so. So that being the case, I thought maybe he's being conciliatory towards Reiner and Falco and trying to protect them, or at least coercing Reiner into trying to convince him not to do this thing, right? That was my guess, is, okay, he's down here to get an apology out of Reiner and then either shock him by killing all these people anyway, or secretly hoping that anything Reiner says or does could change the horrible thing that he's about to have to do. Or have to do. He thinks he has to do it. But it became very clear by the end of the scene, and in retrospect, and I consider this good storytelling, that I wasn't able to tell where Eren was coming from until the very end of the episode, and, you know, having to think about it afterward. I think it's good that we didn't know exactly. If you knew right from the beginning that Eren was definitely going to kill all those people above him and launch this preemptive strike on Willy Tiber, the whole scene would have changed. There would have been no tension. So not knowing where Eren's head's at is a mark of good storytelling, and this is not at all a criticism, but I did need time to sort of process why he was bothering to do all this in the first place. Anyway, he gets that apology from Reiner that I don't even think he was after, but he gets like a full-throated, like, humiliating exposure of Reiner's character. He like falls on his knees in front of Eren and says, like, this was a mistake, what I did, and I feel terrible about it, and don't do this, don't be like me. You know, you get this whole spiel from him, and it doesn't actually matter at all. Eren says, no, I will not stop until I destroy all of my enemies. So he's not looking for an apology, because he gets it and it changes nothing. He's not looking for any justification not to do the war crime, because it's clear that he is fully intent on doing this, and maybe the only thing that could change his mind at all is if for some reason Willy Tiber's big declaration of war turned out to be something else. I don't know, if Tiber had changed his approach and had not declared all-out war on the island of Paradise, maybe it would have changed his plans. And the only reason I say that at all is because there is a flicker of shit on his face, like that some part of him doesn't want to do this. But that's the only indication we get. Everything else about the scene and everything we know leading up to this point makes it pretty clear that Eren was always going to do this. So if Reiner was not going to be able to change his mind, and if he wasn't trying to protect Reiner or Falco, because they are not in a initially I thought they were in a safer position because they were away from the giant crowd of people, but No, they're in a pretty dangerous place. I think whether Reiner and Falco live or die is not terribly important to Eren Yeager. They're in just as much danger as everybody else is. So if Reiner had absolutely no prayer of changing his mind, and Eren didn't want to apologize to him for what he was about to do, what is the point of that scene? What did he do this for? And ultimately, I do think it just comes down to the scene that opened the episode, where Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt reflect on a man who lost his entire family, basically out of cowardice. He left them behind to get eaten by titans, and then he hung himself. And he said, why did he tell us his whole life story before killing himself? And I think it's just as straight up blunt and selfish as Eren wanted somebody to know why he did what he did from the other side. That he wanted to give that courtesy to Reiner that Reiner and his people never gave to him. And I don't know that he even knows that it'll change anything or that it'll matter. I think it's a purely selfish decision. I think it is straight up just about Eren. It's just his personal satisfaction of, I want someone to know why I did this, and I want someone to accept that even though it was wrong, it was the only choice that I thought I could have made. It's literally just like a serial killer's video in his basement that, you know, the cops eventually intersect before he goes on a killing spree saying, like, I want you to know why I did what I did. That's the only reason that all of that happened. And he picked Falco also for that reason, because he saw himself in Falco. He saw Reiner as the man that he'd become, and he's like, you understand, right? And Reiner, of course, can't possibly... even if he understands, can't possibly resonate with why Eren would continue to make this mistake, knowing full well he's not a child anymore. He's a grown-ass man, knowing full well the consequences. And Falco being like, you know, proto-Eren, baby Eren, of him wanting to apologize before he sends Titans in to figuratively eat Falco's mother, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So that's where I stand on Eren's motivation leading into this scene. I think Eren is a lost cause. I think this heel turn is about as heel as it can possibly get, and I'm mostly just curious to see how the rest of the characters are going to respond to Eren's desire to destroy all his enemies, whatever that means and wherever that line might stop. We'll just have to see. All right, without further ado, let's just find out what the world has in store for Eren, his friends, and the new little friends we've come to know, like Falco and Gabby, in episode 65, The Warhammer Titan. Crappy little kids, crappy little rich kids. I hope they were in that building that was above Eren's head when he exploded. I don't hate children. I just hate rich children with bad hair. So it's fine for him to risk their lives because he's a good Eldian that supports Marley. And there's, like, you know, there's really a lot of hypocrisy behind Tiber's whole thing. And I think that efforts to make him seem sympathetic are now switching up from where they were before. Earlier, I think it was really in the story's interest that we show Tiber as a sympathetic figure. But now that Eren is in opposition to him, we have to flip the script. And really, I don't know, everybody in this story, short of... The only characters that are not at all sympathetic are the Marley top brass. Marley people in general, we haven't seen very many good ones, but... almost all of the Marley characters that we're introduced to are military, and they're terrible. So I think if there's any hole in the universal humanity of all these characters, it is the Marley characters. But do I want to see those people humanized? No, they are basically analogs for an autocratic dictator, like military led. You know, I don't want to just drop a Godwin all the time and call them Nazis, but we only have so much time in this reaction video that I'm going to have to just say that. Like, do I want those characters to be humanized? No, I think this guy is about as much as we're going to get, and we don't want him to win. But we don't want Eren to win. There's no winning in this war, apparently. Full defense of this theme song, by the way. I think it's probably one of the best ones in the whole show. It's so bleak that it really can't be mistaken for... this arc really can't be mistaken for anything like all the stuff that's come before. The tone has permanently shifted at this point. I knew it! I knew it! I was like, one of these kids isn't gonna matter. It's the one with the least amount of lines. There's gotta be a Marco Butt in there somewhere. I know his name's spelled B-O-T-T, but I watched the English dub, and it's Marco Butt to me.
Marco Butt.
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 Willie Tiber's play really ramps up after intermission. You're not gonna do shit. That is not gonna do shit. It was me! I fired the first shot in the war against Paradise Island. Me! You absolute fucking douche master. Wow. That is really good character writing, though, because, like I said, these Marley characters, they're mostly not sympathetic. I hope Udo makes it. I think he's got a shot. We've already killed off one example. The way Titan is written, they don't usually like to waste characters. But that Marley guy, like, man, like, we knew that he was war hungry, because that's why he's allying with Tiber. But just that, we don't know a whole lot else about him except that he takes his military career very seriously and was very jonesed about that war. But just that, right down in history that I made the first shot in the war, like, ugh, god damn, Isayama. He's pretty good with getting across everything you need to know about a character in just a couple lines, and that'll do it. That'll do it. I hate this guy. Hey, the cart titan, what's her name? Peak? Is it Piek or Peak? She's got a good head on her shoulders. I always knew I liked her. She seems very grounded. Oh, she seems very in touch with the details of whatever she's doing. She's not a hot-headed idiot who rushes into battle. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Are these our friends? Alright, I want to see how much our friends have changed since we last saw them. And it's a stand. It is... This looks like the work of an enemy stand. Is that the Warhammer? Oh my god! Oh my god! Wow. Hirohiko Araki would be proud. Oh, this dick. This fucking asshole. You can kill him. It'll be reborn... Oh, I guess it'll be reborn in the royal bloodline, wouldn't it? Okay, maybe it's decent military tactics, but... I don't know, I get the feeling like he's still prioritizing the reobtaining of the Founding Titan over lives. It would be smartest to just try and kill Eren at this point. You're playing with fire and you're gonna get burned really bad, keeping him alive for some higher fucking motive. Probably based on getting your name in the first paragraph of the next textbook, you absolute asshole. I just want y'all to know that Eren's terrible facial hair is the inspiration for my failing to shave before filming this video. Oh wait, Mikasa? And it's not because I have to film a bunch of these and my, inevitably, some stubble is going to appear. I want to get a good look at Mikasa's 5 years forward, flash forward character design. Ooh. Nice. Oh, they have like special ops, super spandexy. Fashion has come a long way for the Paradisian military. Oh no, he did this all on his own? Oh man, I thought he had the support of his friends and they're like, I don't know, well, you know, he's in charge, given how, you know, he's contributed to all our victories so far, so, but no, straight up, they were not on board with this. They followed him here. Wow, okay, this has become even more complicated than I thought it was going to be, which I appreciate. Yeah, if you're gonna draw parallels, don't draw simple conclusions. Candygram. Jawbreakers. Oh! 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 Oh, God. What a fucking badass way to go out, though. Oh, Flock. That was the only guy who survived the assault on, yeah. This guy we're pretty purposefully not supposed to like very much, I think. Guy who mysteriously survives everything despite being kind of a whiny tool who blames everything on everyone else and has very little empathy for his fellow man. So yeah, Flock is I guess what I'm saying. He can go flock himself. Eren's just like, well, they started it. They started it and they made me sad. My dad's dead 'cause me. A lot of the greatest anime protagonists are just a more aggressive version of Shinji Ikari. And I'm here for it. Eren's like the most aggressive version of Shinji Ikari. At this point, the only way to save him, I guess, is to turn him into a Titan, right? So we've got a couple candidates. We know Falco wants Reiner's Titan. And Gabby wants it. So there's going to be a fight at this point. If Udo isn't already dead, he could also be a third factor in this. So I think who's going to get the Armored Titan is a big question here that's going to be resolved probably pretty quickly. This is a very utilitarian kind of story, and Reiner has run out of story utility at this point. And I think the most interesting thing that could be done with him is to show who he is willing to pass down his legacy. I don't know, air quotes, his legacy, to. Whew. If I had to pick, I would say it's Falco. But, looks like bad things are on the horizon for Gabby, too. Oh, wait, is that Sasha? That is Sasha. I didn't even recognize her. It took me a second. How come she doesn't have an armored plate over her boobs like Mikasa does? Like, that seemed... I thought I was going to compliment that earlier. I was too busy talking about something else that doesn't matter. But there's an armor plating over the chest area. I'm like, oh, that's good. You don't want somebody stabbing you through your vitals here. Your lungs and your heart. But Sasha doesn't have it. So, did they not give that to everyone? Look, he has it. Oh, no, I see why. I see why she doesn't have it. Because she needs the big sniper rifle over her... Okay. But that's not good, though. She's the only person wearing... Keep her away from the action, then. Because if somebody gets close to the sniper who doesn't have armor on... Oh, they know what they're doing. I don't. I haven't been working out for 5 years and shooting off giant missiles into Titans. What do I know? It has an umbilical cord? Big baby Titan. Can I interest you in an egg in this trying time, Eren? Oh, no, ew. Oh, gross. I wonder if that's related to the thing that Annie has. She's in a crystalline structure similar to that. I wonder if she's been extending an umbilical cord into the earth for a while. That would be cool. I hope Annie comes back as a big baby. Oh, it's Jawboy. What's his name? I don't remember. He ate Ymir, so I don't care what happens to him. He can f*** off for all I care. He killed Ymir. Oh, Porco, honey, they don't care. I think his name's Porco, isn't it? Him or his brother was named Porco. He's Porco now, because I don't care what his name is, but... Yeah, you were not prepared for... You gotta be careful not to get your wires crossed doing that formation. We'll see Levi next time, I guess. Oh, boy. Alright, that was Attack on Titan, episode 65, The Warhammer Titan. Boy, I love this show, don't you? It's so much fun, and it's so dense. There's so many things going on. But in all seriousness, there is every single character they cut back to. Sometimes there's shows with cast of thousands like this where they'll cut to someone else and it's like, oh, I kind of remember who that person is and I don't really care about them. But like all these characters, if I don't like them or care about them, I want to learn more about them. And if I don't want to learn more about them, I hate them and I want them to die. So all these characters serve a really strong purpose in the story. Every time they cut back and forth to someone else, I'm invested in what's going on. I feel like I'm learning something. It's a good story, well told, with compelling characters, and that is not 60 plus episodes in, that's a hard thing to keep up. But it really feels like it is building to a head in a way where everything that has happened up to this point matters. We're not just shifting, oh, now it's grim and dark, and now it's like a real war. There has been some criticism, I think, of Titan Now not being what Titan was, but I think Titan Now is kind of justifying, to me, really justifying what Titan was to begin with. It is kind of taking responsibility for the more frivolous, some would say nationalistic or fantasy nationalistic way that war has been portrayed against a monstrous enemy in the past, and is taking all that and trying to put it into a context that feels human and complicated and really shows the ugliness and yet the inevitability of this war that we're witnessing, and I dig it. And I love that Warhammer Titan. He's weird and gross. There's a little bit more. The body horror in Titan has been kind of blunt, I want to say. It's like big, ugly monsters that look like somebody who's never seen a lion before drawing a lion in a medieval, you know what I'm talking about, like a medieval tapestry, and this person's never seen an elephant, and is like, here's, I think, what an elephant is, only it's that, but like someone who's never seen a human before, a giant version of, that's kind of the rudimentary crudeness of the designs we've seen so far. The Warhammer Titan is the first one that really looks like, it's got war in the name, looks like it was designed to be a biological weapon. And I don't know if it's always looked that like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure way, or if that's something that comes with Marleyan scientific refinement of the Titan drug. I don't know, but it makes sense. It looks like a more advanced thing than whatever Eren is playing with. So yeah, Titan, good shit. Continues to be really, really engaging stuff. So thank you so much for watching this far. I really appreciate it. If you could like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff to please the algorithm baby, which at this point, this algorithm baby controls my future apparently on YouTube, so I resent and fear it. And I'm going to find the algorithm baby, and I'm gonna make it answer for the pressure it is putting me under. That's what's gonna happen. So like, comment, subscribe, help me find this algorithm baby so we can give it a talking to about my future on the channel. You can also back me on Patreon if you like. Your name will end up in the credits, and you can vote on future reaction topics. One of the first that's been funded already is I'm going to be reacting next week or the week after to Wonder Egg Priority, which has become my first priority. Eggs really seem to be a theme this season. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another episode of Attack on Titan in a couple weeks.